It's time to down tools for a bit. Welcome to the Toolshed, the influential podcast for anyone and everyone involved in the building industry. Here's your host, Mick Hawes.
Hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Toolshed podcast. Like all other episodes, we're always looking for people and philosophies and platforms and tools and anything that can help the builder build a more enjoyable, more sustainable, more profitable business. One of the areas that I think is one of the most critical areas, and it's one of the areas that the business owner wants to give away responsibility for, but you simply can't. You need to be involved in it. And that is the marketing of the business. And one of the things that we've seen decade after decade with all sorts of trades-based businesses, particularly builders, is the ups and the downs. They either got far too much work or they're struggling to get work, and there never seems to be this nice, even approach to it. And so in this episode, I'm talking to Steph Campanella from Tradies Go Online or tradiesgo.com.au. All of the contact information will be in the description up above. And we want to talk about how important this is, what are the mistakes that people make when they're doing it, and how we can start to even out the metaphor I use is the pig in the python. I don't know whether that's politically correct anymore, but it's a big lump. We've got lots of work and then we've got no work. So we'll be talking about that. Steph, great to see you. You're in a room that I've never seen before. Fantastic background.
Hello.
How are you going? I haven't seen you since I think you came and visited us in Darwin, all of the Black Belt members, and that was almost a year ago because we're just about to leave to New Zealand tomorrow for our annual intensive that you were at last year.
I can't believe it's been a year.
It's been a year. That's
holy
crazy.
cow. Time is just ticking away.
Yeah. It's you've been on the podcast a number of times before, but I would like for you, just for the first time person that hasn't seen you before, just give us a little bit of background as to how you ended up running the business, working with tradies in that online marketing space.
Yes, so I'm Stephanie Campanella from tradiesgo.com.au, and we help trade and construction clients generate more work from digital marketing. I think our best case scenario is that not only do we generate more work from SEO and AdWords, but we hook up systems like your Build Exact and your Podiums and your SimPros, systems that construction and trade giants are already using, and they've invested good money in these pieces of software, but they're not really using it to all that they could be. Every time someone fills out a contact form, an email and a text message should be automatically being sent to let that person know you can stop looking for another builder. You found the right one. Here's a capability statement. Here's a gallery of all the work we've done, and we're looking forward to having a chat with you. So that's kind of like the what we do. Why I do it is because I used to work for my dad in his brickies business. So he's a brickie / a builder. And at I was the only child of three that could actually get on the computer and help him with his safe work method statements. And so he would come home stressed and need some help on his safe work method statements, or he need a quote to go to some huge construction giant. And so I knew all these big building company names, and I was putting together letterheads and all sorts of stuff for him. And I guess I just got a taste for the business.
Yeah.
And then naturally, as I launched, then I, of course, just attracted trades because that was what I was used to.
Yeah. Similar to us. I mean, they're the type of people that you like hanging around with, you know. I think trades-based businesses and builders are just good people, and they contribute massively to our lives. They create the spaces that we grow up in and create our memories in. So it's, very, very important. Now, one of the things that we talk about a lot in Black Belt, and it's always an issue, which is why we need to keep talking about it, is that people do start to gain some traction. They start to fill the pipe up. They start to get busy. They got 12 months worth of work, 18 months worth of work.
Yeah.
And they take their foot off the gas pedal when it comes to any sort of promotion and marketing. tell me
No.
about that, why that they shouldn't do it. In fact, what I suggest
Okay.
is the more work you've got, the harder you press the pedal.
Yeah, so I mean, I could talk from experience in dealing with builders that are doing over 300 homes a year.
Yeah.
Like the guys that are doing that many homes a year, and I mean, putting, I wouldn't say slapping, but they're putting homes together on every corner of the street. We're planning promotional material and Mother's Day and end of financial year deals. And there's just always something on because we
Yeah.
always want to keep the pipe going because we want to generate a queue of people waiting to work with us. And if your branding and your marketing can attract a client and they love you so much that they only want to work with you and you are the, you're the hot one, you're the selected one, you're the number one, then if you tell them it's going to take 6 or 12 months to get started, then it probably work for them. I mean, you still got to go to DA, you still got to do all the drawings and everything else anyway. So there's always time up your sleeve, but I would never not, like, I would never
Mm.
turn off Facebook ads. I would never not run Google ads. I mean, anytime you pause any of your media channels, your paid media channels like your Google ads and your Facebook ads, they stop learning about your brand. And Facebook, like everyone knows, is always going through algorithm changes. I mean, Google does the same thing. If you're just stopping your campaign, you're no longer playing on the same field, and
Mm.
everyone else is still playing on that field. They're passing the ball, they're moving around. Sometimes you miss a ball. Okay, fair enough. But if you're just going to sit on the stands or wait in the sin bin until you're ready to go back out on the field again, you're going to take a lot more courage to get a bit of a run up and finally someone's going to throw a ball at you. That's probably the best way I can explain it, Mick.
Yeah. And the one thing that we both of us always talk about is that it takes a while for your marketing to gain traction. So once it's got traction, you really shouldn't let it slide because,
No.
I mean, how many months? Sometimes it could be a year or more
But yeah.
to get the
Yeah. So
traction. So when someone starts to get a bit frog in my throat, then starts to get a little bit concerned and
I thought you were
stressed
meant
that
to
they
get
haven't got
fired.
any work, they've got a gap in their pipeline.
Yeah.
They get all
I
desperate,
mean,
but nothing happens.
it's understandable. Like, running a business is it's high pressure. It's
Mm.
scary. You got a risk. You're out there on your own, and you want to do the best job, and you want to get lots of leads, and you want to do the thing, and you want to do the craft. You're in it because you want to deliver that service that you so love doing. If you're doing, say, search, like, SEO organic, and you're not paying for the leads every day, but you're building a castle so that Google just sends you leads,
Mm.
it's going to take time.
Yeah.
I mean, we see day in, day out people that have not decided to go with us and they went somewhere else because it was cheaper or, a deal or whatever. And I mean, the site's, it's slammed. Someone's done something and it's completely damaged the brand. And now they have come back to us, but now they're in an even worse scenario. And so now we've got to pick up the pieces and do the work, which is fine. But we also educate that. I'm like, look at this graph. Advertising on Google is the best thing for any business because you can see everything.
Mm.
If someone's not doing their job, there are tools that you can see it. If someone is doing their job, there are tools that you can see it. I think it's very stressful running a building business because you've got long contracts, you've got long conversations, there's a lot of moving parts to make the thing happen. But I like, you're always, follow a process, there's lots of steps, and you want to work the plan. This is my plan. These are the ads that I'm using. This is the sort of content I'm using. This is the kind of clients I want. Okay, I'm just going to keep chiseling at this thing and make sure I'm with the right person so that we're chiseling the same piece of artwork, and let's work the plan.
Mm. And it's there's different approaches depending on the maturity of the business as well. Because I mean, I know that a number of
Definitely.
your customers are like maybe they're the lone ranger. They maybe got a personal assistant or an apprentice or something like that. So they're going to need to do a lot themselves. They might not have the budget to get everything done for them. But I
Yeah.
mean, one of the things that I suggest is you've got to have a budget. The one thing that I don't
Yeah.
want people to do is get their credit card and throw a Hail Mary pass to try and fix the marketing problem. You've got to put money aside. You've got to have a budget for testing and measuring. Tell me how important and what the mindset and attitude of someone moving into that marketing space needs to be as far as having patience and understanding the process and allowing the testing to happen first.
So I guess there's two pains, right? We've either got the pain of like, now I need leads now, and if you need leads right now, you are going to pay the most because you need the most conversations. Yeah. So you never want to be unorganized and under pressure, so that you've got to go and pay an infinite amount of money to just generate some leads. Any campaign in Google Ads or Facebook, Instagram, that takes time for the platform to understand what your brand even does. So then it's not just like finding the right agency and then spending the right money and then going into the right platform. You then got to also wait for the platform. So there's two pains. You've either got the pain of starting today and you're going to pay with your pocket, or you're going to pay with patience because you've never done any SEO work, any Google work. You've not got category pages on your website. You know, no one knows exactly what it is you do. Like, it's not clear that you do Hampton Homes in St Kilda, let's say. Like, that page doesn't exist. So you're now going to have to pay with patience because a marketing agency needs to put all these pieces of content together for you, connect you with Google, do some backlinking and do some technical stuff to your site so that then you will generate those leads. But make no mistake, you will generate leads, and there is an infinite amount of leads to be had. I think that's the most exciting part that people forget. It's just that most time people are on the wrong plan. I literally just spoke to a guy called Tim in the Gold Coast. He's actually Tyler, not a builder.
Hey, Tim the Tyler.
If
he's
Tim,
listening.
If you're listening, I'm going to send him this. He's with somebody and he's just doing some website, and there's a whole bad story there, like ransom, and they're holding all the usual tricks. He's doing SEO and he's doing ads, but he needs leads right now. So why is he doing SEO? He's only got a small budget. So why is he doing SEO and not just going all in on Google Ads? Google Ads has the highest user intent to buy today.
Yep.
That's where your buying buyers are. It's great for us to have like another client like Adrian. We've got great buyers, we've got lots of contracts, we're good. But we're looking to influence the market and show them what's possible. Well, that's a great way to do some Facebook marketing. Yeah. Does this make sense?
Yeah. Well, just explain the difference in the mindset of somebody that finds you accidentally in a social media platform like Insta or Facebook versus Google, because there's an intent with Google that isn't there with Facebook.
It's buyer intent. There's that little graph that's always like, hot buyers and maybe buyers and then everybody else, right? So Google is where the buyers are hot and they have an intention to buy from you because they're Googling, remodel my home or home renovation or these kind of things, right? They are aware and they're looking to buy. Someone inside Facebook, we can show some really good video, drone pics, all sorts of stuff, and show people what's possible with their home. And with the byline of like, would you love your home more if it looked like this? These little, messages that are going on, and then you're then having conversation with that person and you're warming them up to then buy from you. But they're not in Facebook. No one is in Facebook right now going, renovate my home. I mean, the only way they're doing that is in a sentence that is like Home Buyers New South Wales that's saying, like, oh my God, I'm renovating my home and it's an absolute disaster. How can I get a new builder? That's what they're doing inside Facebook. So it's user intent. The highest intent to buy is in your Google. And that's why it's worth so much. That is why it's worth doing the work inside your SEO, like actually your website work, and then also paying for Google. Like I said, patience, the two pains. You've got the pain of just paying or the pain of patience. And that depends on what else you've done in the background and what else you've got a bit of a roll on, or if you stopped. Like, never stop. My gosh.
Yeah.
I can't stress that enough.
And to me, it's a mindset thing. And I can't remember who taught me this, but I believe it could have been Taki more, maybe. I can't remember.
Maybe.
But
Shout out to Taki.
the flicking that switch from thinking that you're a building business that needs to do some marketing to thinking I'm actually a marketing business that just happens to build houses, and that flicking that switch is so important because now what is the priority? If you're a marketing business, what should you be doing?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like funny. You ever hear the stories of people that like they've got no idea how to build a home, but they're the best home builders in, Tasmania, let's say. And it's not because they're the best builders, it's because they're the best marketers,
Yeah.
because they never stopped. They always did an email. They always did a text campaign. They always turned up at all the local soccer events. They did community events. They're doing ebooks and bait pieces, and they're making sure their website's updated all the time. And they're putting their case studies in. They're taking photos of. I mean, my God, if I was a builder, there's so much to do. And it comes down to priority. Like, what can we priority and what needs to happen? Like, I recently judged on the Sparza Awards, right, which is the pools and spas
Yep.
awards for Australia, New Zealand, and the number one. Reading all the results, the number one thing is that these people that entered into the awards to win the award, they started winning this award years ago,
Yeah.
18 months ago, because they got the client. They did the drawings, they put the pool in the ground, they took photos of progress shots of the pool. They then had the pool finished, they had a drone shot. All of that project then went into the case study that then got entered into the award, and then they became an award-winning pool builder.
Yeah.
That's not something that you just see on the internet and go, oh, I want to be award winning. Hey, can you go fill this award out? You're not going to win. You need case studies, you need photos, you need testimonials, you need a great website. Like, there's a lot to do. Yes, I agree. There is a lot to do.
Yeah. The other thing that I think we need to expand on, and you mentioned it right at the start, is
Yeah.
that it's all well and good to have leads coming in, but if you haven't got a process to professionally manage those leads, interact, start to build the trust, the rapport, the connection, even digitally before you get to speak to them on the phone or face-to-face is absolutely essential. In fact, the way I roll is with a builder, I say we need to build your quality client pathway before you start spending any money on marketing. Otherwise, you just burn these leads that have cost you money. How important is that?
I guarantee.
What does it look like? What's a good system?
Burning a lead means that if you are spending money in Google Ads and they're coming to your website and you're doing nothing about it, not everyone's going to fill out a contact form. Even an SEO perspective, you're ranked number one on Google, and you're not having to pay every time someone clicks on your website. So you're not paying per click; it's just free. They're coming to your website. Then what? We must have some automations and some playbooks in place so that we can make sure we don't waste a lead. Because you might go, oh, look, there's another 20 grand. Let's go spend another 20 grand in Google Ads this month. Well, hang on, what happened to all the other leads? I mean, do we have a salesperson that can call the leads and say, hey, you interacted with our brand online, or you followed us on Instagram. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Are you interested in building? What's going on? So there's quite a lot to do there, Mick.
Yeah. What about the guy who can't afford a salesperson? There's obviously automation, or there are other things that you can set up for the Lone Ranger. So he seems like he's got a sales team.
Yeah. So very, very simply, there are email and text automations that must happen on your website. So, I mean, very easily, you can go to podium.com. Podium has Google backing. Google believes in Podium so much that they have given them money, and Podium are an amazing web chat and texting solution. So for a builder, you just paid for the lead. You've paid either way, no matter what, whether it came in for free or it's paid. You've paid for the lead. They've landed on your website. They're looking around your website, wondering what they're going to do. Boom, a little web chat pops up. Hey, are you looking at building now or later? Oh, actually, I'm looking at, you start a conversation. Oh my God, I've got a conversation going. That's what you want. You want to start conversations. You don't just want to sell and sell. If you can start a conversation, you can get to understand who that person is. So you can do that via web chat and texting the person. You also should be emailing. I love email. I love every builder and trade to have an email database, because when running things like Google ad campaigns or Facebook campaigns, we can put that database into those tools and build like-minded, audiences, and then we can market to people that are kind of like our other people. That's brilliant. Don't you wish you kept an email database? Now, there's other tools like HubSpot and ActiveCampaign, and there's some more on the lower end too. But I always like, ActiveCampaign, I think, is like $100 a month. Like it's basically lunch.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't even
or
think
dinner,
it's that
going out to
much.
dinner with your wife.
I thought it was less than that.
I think it might be actually less, Mick, but it's so important that you start collecting people's details because you can do some fun stuff. When someone lands on your website and they go into that contact form, that can then trigger an email and a text to say, "Hey, thanks so much. I saw you you just gave us a little bit of information about your project. We'd love to get started. Stop looking for a builder. We want to be your builder." Like, what you're doing is actually stopping that customer in their tracks because the customer knows that builders and trades don't call them back. And that's why they're doing all these different quotes. And sure, you could argue that some people are just tight and they do lots of quotes to look at all the different quotes. There was a story about someone that got like 7 quotes or something the other day, or was it 17? I can't remember. And you just think, oh, you're a waste of everyone's
Yeah,
time here. My
yeah,
team
yeah,
looking at all these conversions and then you calling like it's
it's
ridiculous.
crazy.
But it's like you need to talk to the person so that they are seen, heard, and understood. Basic marketing, like these are fundamentals from way back, Mick. Like you and
Yep.
I have been in for a long time, being liked and being seen and being heard. This is basic stuff.
Yep.
But it's about how we take these concepts when we use our digital tools to make sure that we're super savvy. There's no reason why a builder can't have text automation going, can't have an email automation going, can't have a software. Like my amazing project manager has built the first of its kind connection with the WordPress website foundation and Build Exact. We've
Nice.
literally built an API so that when you have an inquiry, it can go straight into your Build Exact account. That's never happened before. We built one.
Hey, I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt, and I hope you're enjoying this episode of the Toolshed podcast. I've got something super exciting I want to share with you. We've got a place that's got a whole bunch more free resources to help you with your building business. In fact, there's a whole other podcast that gives you specific training that will help you get more free time, more profit, and more enjoyment from your building business. And it's called, funnily enough, the Toolshed. It's free to join, and it's full of other success-focused builders. And I invite you to join us in the Toolshed, where you can ask me questions and get guidance and support from other successful builders. Just click the link in the description to join, and I'll see you in there. I hope you enjoy the rest of this podcast. So just to go rewind a little bit, you mentioned text and email automation. And I just want the smaller business, the guy that's kind of still maybe on the tools a fair bit of the time, to realise he doesn't have to be on the other end of the chat to chat
Correct.
with them. The emails can happen automatically. It can be like an automated response, but an AI response. So it changes based on the response. It's just amazing.
Yes.
So what can be done these days in that space? Because it's like adding another couple of people to your team.
I mean, we've got a case study of a large air conditioning company, and they literally just run AI, again, using Podium, but it's all done through AI. Oh, hey, look, I'm looking to get, an air conditioning unit. Oh, yep. So are you thinking that you need a split system, or is it fully ducted? Like, have you thought that far ahead? Oh, yeah, I'm looking at split systems. And then the AI is like, yeah, brilliant. So split systems, how many rooms are you thinking? Like, how big is your house? How many rooms? Is it a kitchen? And they can respond to all that. Like, So again, we've done this in our business. You can get Chat GPT to talk to these other software systems. You can do all these things in Chat GPT, and then it can just feed through. And so it's not the AI of, your email service or your text service or this, that. It's actually all coming from a little program, your Chat GPT basically. So take it really back. Like, if it's low budget, then obviously you can text. you can use your fingers and text that person
Yep.
straight away. You can make sure you got your notifications on in your phone. When a form gets filled out, you see it. You're on the job. You can use text replacement on your iPhone and just type dot, EE, and that brings up, hey, thanks so much for inquiring. We can't wait to speak to you. I'm just on a job right now, but I will call you this afternoon. Like, you could very quickly use the text replacement setting in iPhone and make that happen for you. That's free. And then you can make a step up. Like, you're writing all the playbooks, Mick. So then you
Yeah.
can go, right, I'm now going to use something like Podium, and I'm going to use their texting service, which will also sync my Instagram ads and my Facebook, my Instagram account, and my Facebook account. Everything can all go into one thing. So, wow, now I've just got one little tool that's got all my communication that's randomly coming in. It's going into one place. Brilliant. I've now replaced my texting with my little app, my little Podium app.
Yeah.
Same thing again, like, ActiveCampaign, it's not that expensive. So if you're on a smaller budget, ActiveCampaign is not that expensive. Get the website form hooked up to your ActiveCampaign, write an email, put a case study in there so they can see something and, turn it on, so to speak. This
Yeah.
is all like this is like the 1%, Mick. And I always say this. There's like 1% of builders that are sending emails every month. There's 1% of builders that are doing nurture sequences. There is 1% of builders that are doing texting.
Yeah.
So if you just did a little bit, even if you just did it manually, but if you did a little bit, you are so much further ahead.
Yeah.
And those that don't market are the ones that are going to be left behind.
Yeah. And there's a few of them being left behind. I was reading a statistic that we're losing
Oh,
almost 200 builders a month
yeah. I mean,
nationally. It's crazy.
you're a man, so you can't enter. But I'm in tradie wives, right? I'm pretty sure they do like tradie husbands too, but they're very strict, Mick, so you wouldn't get in. Tradie wives
What
on.
what if I identified as a woman and wanted to join?
Well,
Couldn't
look,
I
you
do
can have
that?
that argument with Verity.
Okay.
But it's a female only, and it's tradie wives, and there's builders and solar companies and plumbers and electricians, all sorts of trades in this market. It's like 40,000 people, and they're all in there sharing. Oh my God, I'm getting offered a dollar per invoice because these guys are going to liquidate, and this is all they're giving me, and I'm now under their thumb, and all this sort of stuff. Like, you see it every day. Oh my gosh, did you see this builder's just gone bust? And everyone's like, oh no, prayers for everyone that, no longer their invoices are going to be heard. Like, no one likes those stories.
No.
And so that's why you need control of your market. You need to be the marketer. You can't go to an architect every time and go, hey architect, I'm a really great builder, I need some work. What if that architect does something? Then you've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of contracts. And now what are you going to do? Start all over again? No. You need a market for yourself. Put yourself first.
Yep. And you need to invest, like my financial coach, because you got to have a coach for everything, don't you?
I have a coach for I have a surfing coach, I have a gym coach.
Surfing coach.
I got a husband, he coaches me every
I
day.
actually did have a surfing coach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say you've
financial
got to have,
coach.
the financial coach suggested that, and you kind of need to know a little bit about profit first to understand what I'm about to say, but 7% he suggests of your
Yes.
real revenue. So that's kind of your revenue minus your material costs and your subcontractor costs. What's left is your real revenue. 7% of that should go to a marketing budget. And having a marketing budget means that you can go, let's experiment. Let's throw a few hundred or a few $1,000s at this because I've got a marketing budget that needs to be spent. And as your business grows, that 7%, the dollar figure gets bigger and bigger. And what that means is as you get bigger, you need to be doing more. And people think the exact opposite. What are your thoughts?
Oh, well, I mean, the first thing you said there was experiment, right? Marketing is an experiment.
Yep.
And I think that's why when things get tough, marketing is the first thing that goes out the door.
Yeah.
Let's stop doing experiments. Whereas in fact, actually, marketing is going to get you out of your black hole. The creativity of marketing is going to actually move the needle, so to speak. So that's probably like the first thing. I guess the risk that you play in experiments is that you're choosing to experiment with someone that's never really done it before for your industry. That's a scary experiment. If I was going to do something, and I was going to experiment, I'd want to make sure if I go surfing, I want to make sure my coach has actually surfed before.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I
nice.
might break my neck.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
No. No, it's standing on the shoulders of giants. I think that's what they call it. Somebody listening to this goes, there's a bunch of things that I think I should be doing, don't know where to start. They want to reach out to you. How do they do that? And what is the process they can expect to experience once they've reached out to you? What are the steps?
Yeah, sure. So you can go to tradiesgo.com.au and you can fill in one of our forms. There's a bunch of forms on the website. We call them hammer times. So give us your details, your email, your name.
Hammer time.
Why hammer time? Why? Yeah, everything's trade. Why you need some help. What are you struggling with? Give us a little bit of information. You'll then be sent a calendar, and that'll be hooked up to my team's calendar. And you can probably get to speak to someone in the next 24 hours. Really.
Nice.
We've got a 2-hour delay on our calendar. So if one of the teams actually not got any other booked calls that afternoon, we could talk to you that very day.
Yeah.
And then from there, we have a strategy session. What are you doing? What are you doing right now? What have you tried to do before? Let's look at your website. What the hell? Why is that like that? What have you done?
What the hell?
No,
I love that response when you're looking at somebody's website. What the hell?
So much. There's so much that we see, Mick. Like every day, it's insane. So obviously, we identify if you're a good fit for us. A good fit for us is someone that really wants to do all the things. They want automations. They want to be seen in Google. They want to be visible. They want to make sure that their messaging makes sense. They want to go all in on this. They don't want to kind of give marketing a go and then just forget about it. Because if you want to do that, don't bother calling. Like, if we're going to market, we're going to market. Like we're gonna do this properly. If you qualify, then of course we can go over prices and packaging, all that kind of stuff, and then we get you onboarded. And again, there's a secret calendar just for onboarding. We try and get you onboarded as quickly as possible, and that way then we can take all your technical stuff, your logins and your access and your domains, and what suburbs do you really want to work in. You've sort of mentioned to the sales team this and this. Let's go a little bit deeper, because my team can then go, right, of all these suburbs in Sydney, these are actually the ones that have got the highest volume of user intent. So this is where we should go. Now, does that work for you? Now, again, there's also things like, okay, what sort of work have you been doing? And are you tired of that work and you're only saying yes to that work because you're actually getting it? What do you actually want to achieve? Because from a marketing perspective, we've got to cut, we've got to burn the boats and go. We're not going to do this anymore, so we're not going to market for that anymore. Don't worry, the work will come. Forget about the small jobs. Let's get you the big jobs. The only way we're going to do that is if we actually start acting like that business. I think you might say, like, you can't change it to become that person, Mick. I think you've said that before.
Oh,
like
I've said lots of stuff. I don't remember saying that, but I would have said something that sounded like it, I'm sure.
Yeah, but like you can't be tomorrow if you're stuck in yesterday. You have to keep forging forward.
Yeah, beautiful. So thank you for putting the time aside, battling with the technology to make this happen. We had a few hiccups at the start, but we made it happen, as we always do.
We made it. Here we are.
But it's great chatting with you. It's such an important part of the business is to understand that you cannot give away responsibility for the marketing of your business. You need to have somebody to guide you and stand on their shoulders and things like that. But you've got to get involved. So I guess one last question is, someone thinking of reaching out to you, is there anything that they need to think about, answers to any questions that you might ask before they get started, as far as, what are the projects that you're passionate about? What are the type of people that you want to attract?
It's really two things, Mick. It's what do you want to do, and be absolute in it.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, and where do you want to do it?
Yeah.
That's it. Because from there, we can put the research behind us and build the plan.
Yeah.
What do you actually want to do? Not what you're already doing. If you could just, leads could just come into your brain right now and they're in your inbox, and what sort of lead would they be? Think about that. I would be so much happier if all I did was this project in this location, because my team didn't have to drive all the way around Sydney or Melbourne or Perth or whatever it might be.
Yeah, perfect. As I said, thanks for being on the show. It's always good fun to chat. This is a great topic of conversation, and you've been doing it for a long time, so you've got a great depth of knowledge, and thanks for sharing that with our listener, our single listener, viewer.
No worries, Mick.
And I'm sure we'll be seeing you again on the podcast.
You never know.
You never know where you'll pop up. Exactly. That is it, folks, for this episode of the Toolshed podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it inspired you to take some action, reach out and have a chat with one of the team at Tradies Go. All of the contact information will be in or is in the description above the video or audio, depending on how you're consuming this here podcast. But reach out. As Steph said, there's a big conversation that needs to be had to find out whether you're the right fit, whether you're going to go in this direction, that direction, and answer those two questions. You know, what would you really like to do and where would you really like to do it, and be prepared for that conversation, see where it goes. Love to hear your feedback after you've had that conversation. Reach out to us and tell us. That is all for this episode. I will be back with another episode before you know it. I'm Mick Hawes from Builders Business Black Belt. That is all. I'm out. Bye for now.
You've been listening to the Toolshed. If this podcast struck a chord with you, make sure you spread the word by sharing it with your mates in the building industry. We love your help to make the building industry better for everyone involved.